Okay. Maybe we're so back. Maybe we're so back. Again, big YouTube streaming moment where quite literally everything just kind of crashes and goes to hell. A big fan. Big fan of this one. Second stream. I'm saying, hopefully this doesn't cut out. My internet randomly cut out. That's crazy. I know. All right, now I gotta fix up. Now I gotta fix everything. All right, hold please. Big second stream. Okay. Gotta get everything back. Stream 2. I'm saying, everyone refresh. I think that is a big problem with the YouTube streaming. Is like, what if something like that happens? And now I'm just like big stuck because for no reason in particular, there's like nothing I can do. Fresh. What's going on, Clear Mind? Hello. If I may just start the stream. No, true. I know. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? That's so funny. All right, I gotta fix this chat screen real quick. I know exactly the way to do it. Unfortunately, I have to like do something insane. Okay, ready? First things first. Okay, live split, check. Okay, now go back to the chat. These double lecture halls are killer, I'm saying. That fix it? Perfect, yay! All right, chat's back too. Wow. Wow, new link. New link I have to put out for some reason because YouTube can't figure it out. Now we're in 2 separate modes, which is like kind of insanity. Okay. Let me go ahead and repost because I gotta. Quote. Stream went down. Stream went down, but we are up. Perfect. Boop. Link to stream. Perfect. Incredible. I cannot believe that's what happened. Okay, back to live split. Okay. Wow, so unfortunate. We lost so many people, and yet for no reason. And for no other reason other than that our internet just crashed. Feels bad. Hello Q, good to see you, hello. Hello everyone, welcome back to the start of the stream. We tried to save the other one. That's the wild part. I tried to save the other stream and see if it would work. And unfortunately, it cut out after a certain period of time. Unlike Twitch, which is just like, yeah, refresh and go. Oh well. Show must go on, I guess. Oh, also, my Wi-Fi also went down. Maybe it was my whole internet. What's going on, Mr. Overanalyzer? Swolax Lost Media! I'm saying, hello. I guess we're so back. Trying to get everything back in order. Our internet got knocked out. And now we're back. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. Now, where was I? Right. Water Nexus. 2 streams, 1 night. Let's go! Hi, Josh. Everyone say hi, Josh. Hello. Okay. So the previous stream crashed. My internet went out completely. But it was out slow enough, and I'm saying slow enough because if it was faster, a tidbit faster, like 20 to 30 seconds faster, we would have still been on the other stream. But for some reason, we're on this stream. And it gave us to a new stream. New stream link, new everything, new hosting as well, which will definitely mess up algorithm stuff. I'm just gonna say it. It's going to super mess up algorithm stuff. Or not. Maybe we stream for another 2 hours and it's fine. This is gonna be a pain to edit. Blink, blink, blink. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine. That being said, let's talk about Wexus. Let's talk about Wet Nexus. So, the Wet deck, I think, has a few different ways to play, right? Obviously, we have what we built in like quite literally a minute, 1 minute in total. And so someone wanted to be like, hello, good to see you. YouTube didn't notice me the first stream. What's going on? Hey, it's going. Good to have you here. Absolutely. What's funny about that is that maybe for the second stream, it's better. Maybe YouTube actually didn't mess up, and this was a call from YouTube to like actually do something. It's wild. I don't know. Regardless though, we built this deck in about a minute and a half. A minute and a quarter. But what's so funny is that I think there's a billion different ways to play Water now. And Water Nexus can be one of them, right? We're not really playing any of the Divines because it's just like, we could do that to draw cards. We could do anything else, right? We could play the Kerberos direct, and that can be pretty good. Or we could play the Drakid line. That's a little more straightforward. We could play things like Astrab in here, right? But this is effectively Water 5s or Water 5 with the Draking stuff splashed in here. This is like your base for most of these strategies. And again, salt to taste on the shields and the Gorgons and the Tsunamis, but I don't know. Maybe it could be pretty good, maybe not. But again, this was about a minute of building, and it did not take much brain power. This was the most straightforward deck I think we could play, outside of Earth. Again, we'll probably have another timer for Earth when we get around to it, but that is specifically how much time it takes you to do stuff here. What's going on, Time? Hello, how's it going? What client is this? This is an Elestrals client that was built by the Law YGO. I don't think it's publicly available yet, but it's effectively just a good deck builder tool to try to visualize strategies and decks. But it's not quite complete, but it's also like kind of, I personally like this one a lot more than trying to navigate the site, but the site is also pretty good. The site's pretty good for what the community needs, but there used to be one that was a web browser version, and it was a lot better, but oh well, you know. Yeah, Elestrals has an app. Elestrals does have an app, and soon with Elestrals Clash, an online simulator. But that's it. That's it, you know. Anyways. So, part 2 of this stream. Part 2. In fact, I probably need to rename this as part 2. Part 2. Oh, part 2. What is the best? Please help. Save. Internet went down. Okay. We're back. All right. So, let's build. Let's take off the stopwatch here real quick. We'll hide the stopwatch. That's not quite right one. Where are we? Timer. We're hiding the timer. So, let's move on. We need to bring back the wheel. Wheel pog, let's go. Wheel time. It's wheel time. Insane. Okay. We are back once again with the wheel. We have 3 more elements left. So maybe with Blessing in Disguise, we didn't even really need the stream to kick back up. But we're gonna do it anyways, baby. We're gonna move on because we're done with Nexus. We built it in a minute, and I don't really think we need much more explanation after that. So, 3, 2, 1, gamble. You will win. We will spin. Lunar, god dang it. I actually wasn't expecting to get Lunar this soon. Okay. Full disclosure, there's 2 different ways to play Lunar. One, inside a Draking version of the list. 2, you play Pharaoh Geist. I don't know which one's better. So, we're gonna build Pharaoh Geist, because I think Pharaoh Geist could be Pharaoh Geist Turbo, and that could be a really fascinating way the deck could be built. Again, probably not great, because again, this Lunar pool inside of the game right now is kind of small, but eventually Lunar could be crazy. Okay, so let's go to the highest choice. We have 2 choices left, Earth and Fire. Amazing. And we're gonna be trying to build a Pharaoh Geist list for this one, because Draking, I think, is effectively a water deck, just with extra Lunar Spirit splashed in, right? That's kind of how I see it. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to building. Okay. Let's go to save this deck, go to none selected, and let's build Camel. Let's get the music a little bit better here. All right, let's get to building. Okay, so first things first, let's go to our Lunars, Elestrals, because we don't really have much in here, but I'm a big fan of our boys. So obviously Pharamel is inclusion here to think about, but we don't have to think about him for very long. In fact, we can kind of skip him. In my opinion, what you're gonna be probably trying to run on some level is Naubi, Fawnlet, Spectaris, Pharaoh Geist, and that's it. That's your Lunars. Your Lunars are very straightforward. You don't really need much Lunars other than that. But what you do need is your Solars, and I think this is where this deck can shine as far as a stall version of a deck that can go into Lunar stuff. So that's that. First things first. We need to go into runes of all types, because I do think that we need to play some removals. I don't know exactly which ones, but we'll go into what we need to later. Did I play Ambrosia in the last water deck? I think I did. Or maybe I didn't. Not sure. There's Circle Sky, 2 Artemis because it's searchable, 3 Gorgons, 3 Tip, 2 Shield. Seems perfectly fine. I don't know if we really need Tsunami, but we could do Tsunami, which is all right. Tsunami is 2, maybe. Feels kind of bad to do it, but we'll try it out. Then 3 cards missing. I think we should do First Lights, but First Lights might be a little bit of a hard sell. No, we have to do Altar. Altar for 2 of at the very least. And then maybe 3 of even, because like it's supposed to be like a turbo list. And yeah, this list is looking kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's kind of the problem with like turboing decks like this, like the Pharaoh Geist stuff, is that like it does need a lot of like reforming. This is like a big draft for this, but we definitely need cards like Astrabbit in here on some level. We probably need maybe less Nobbies overall, because our Lobbies is okay, but we'll see. Pharaoh Geist we probably only need as a 1-of, because we can maybe stack it with the First Light, which I think is pretty strong, but also kind of rough, because we don't necessarily want to try to go into Pharaoh Geist a turn later, but it does put the opponent on a clock to be able to have to deal with something like the Kothmel or the Lumaru on board, or a Fawnlet, which is super nice, especially paired with something like a Circle of the Sky or Artemis. And that's kind of the thought process here, right? Is to really dig you into these pieces and then pay off for one of the scariest boss monsters of all time. So I think that's what we try to do. Now IMO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 counter runes. Seems a little bit tall order for counter runes, but that seems fine. I think instead we probably want to play copies of First Light. I think could be pretty strong here. just extra copies of either getting into our Lumarus or Kaufmels next turn or a Farrageist. Again, like a solar lunar list that utilizes like Apollo and stuff also could be necessary, but I don't know. Dense Fog, I think Dense Fog could be good, but Dense Fog is such like an interesting side card option. Maybe if water is running amok, then Dense Fog is a necessary inclusion, and makes also the spirit math a little bit better. It's like also kind of rough because it doesn't quite hit Draking, like non-lunar enchanted, right? So we're expecting a lot of non-lunar on the play. So maybe the water strategies, maybe if we see wind, Dense Fog is good, and it's pretty decent into earth. So we could run 3 Dense Fog instead of like the shields and the tips. For my money's worth, I think these are more generic removal and useful options. So we probably could just cut these all together, right? I do not like Laurels though. So I want to include Astrabbits in here because I think it just helps the deck overall, right? That's kind of the problem with this list too, is that we do need like hyper consistency tools and some first turn backup plays. So that's something that we need to do, which I think is kind of rough. Probably need a third Astrabbit. So frankly, it's either Circle the Sky or Tip that I think is getting rid of. Maybe we only need 2 Ambrosia because we have the Kaufmels as like 4, 5, and 6 Ambrosia. It's kind of hard. This is where the deck building gets like kind of rough, especially with like Earthquake in here. I don't think Earthquake feels very good spirit math wise, so maybe we just get rid of the Earthquake and put in the Rabbit. Like we're trying to turbo, we don't really care if like our guy, like how they gonna, it takes a little bit to out this deck effectively is what I'm trying to do. Navi is an interesting application with something like Circle the Sky and the Dense Fog because it can help get over really big bodies, but also is prime target for something like Poison Tipped Arrow, etc. It's kind of rough. So maybe only a 1 of is fine there. That's where we slip in the third Rabbit. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like to put in Nog here on some level. That way we can just full turbo and send it. I do like First Light, and I do want to fit in like a third Nog in here somewhere. So Circle the Sky is maybe necessary. Just for like again, the combo is to see Kaufmel, Artemis, and like Circle the Sky. Like Fawnlet is like a perfect example of a card that's like the plucky equivalent of just getting to your Artemis to Circle the Sky or Nexus on the next turn to your Fawnlet, and then hard ascend and make Pharaohgeist, right? Which we can do, especially if we stack it with the First Light. It's a little faster. It's not great. I think it's a little bit slow. But again, other than like massive turbo decks, I don't really know what else is going to be able to out and keep up pace, especially if you're controlling the space with the counter runes, especially. Alter in this deck is pretty key, so I think we definitely have to keep Dense Fog, not Dense Fog, Alter here on some level. But again, it's like a big depends on what we need here. Nog would be good though. Nog would be good. So let's go for Nog. So far, 1 Nog. Yeah, why not the Rise build? I think a Rise build could be good in the form that you're like rising back the Kaufmel for a free like Ascension over something, and then now you get your Rise back Kaufmel side of things. I didn't even mean, by the way, to scroll over Rise when I did this. That's just happened. I just want to say that right now. Oh my god. But I think what's better about this list is it's very much reminiscent of like the turbo form of it's like the turbo form of like Voltempest from like Elestriad. What's going on, Anthony Parker? Hello, good to see you. This is another one of Swallox's patented short streams. Listen, my internet cut out about halfway through the last like stream. So technically we have 2 streams. This one's part 2 for some reason. So we were streaming just fine, chugging along. Internet cuts out about 2 hours and 30 minutes into the other stream. Took way too long to come back, and now we have a part 2 to this lecture, unfortunately. Really annoying because Twitch allows you just to stream back to the same platform so no one leaves. YouTube is like, we're kicking everyone out of the old thing, and we will and big debate if people are running the next one. Feels bad. But yeah, so the reason why we don't really need Rise here is because like, unless you're rising specifically Kaufmel back for the Pharaohgeist, you can kind of just sit on guys. You can just like sit on guys, play defensively, Lumarus and Nobbies and Spectaris for beaters, and then you can just go, okay, next turn, Artemis, go Circle of Sky on Kaufmel, Hardison, Pharaoh guys, heal back your spirits, and then you're good to go. Like that's it. That's the play. Pharaoh guys is also really hard to out, so like you don't really necessarily need to see more, but it's in defense. You can just sit it in defense and have your opponent burn themselves, or alternatively, you can like pray they don't have destruction, because it can't be destroyed by battle, so it has to be destroyed by card effect. So it does have a bad matchup into Rhino Sect specifically, but it's like, other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have a lot of other options that you really have to worry about too much. I would like another Nectar of the Gods, so like I don't really love the second First Light. I guess it's just to make sure we have 3 copies of Pharaoh Geist that we can draw into next turn. So maybe we cut this for the second Nog, and that's like effectively 2 copies of Pharaoh Geist. We have 1 Nobby in here. Nobby might be cope. Nobby is good as like a generic beater and does pair well with like Circle of Sky again, like to make sure all Elestrals are also weaker. But it's like potentially can even weaken your own Astrabbit effectively as the only target here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is where the cope comes in. We take out Nobby and we just go for a second First Light to stack even our Lunar guys on board. I don't know. Third Nog I think probably could be right too. Like just big turbo into everything. And then we're playing 16 guys total with our utilities. I don't even hate it, right? Because we are running the Kaufmels as like 3, 4, 5, 6 Ambrosia, which you're starting to notice a theme with some of these, is that they are effectively the 4, 5, 6 Ambrosias. So maybe that's it. Maybe this is just the Lunar deck. And again, might need more testing. Personally, I played a list like this that was pretty similar to this list, and it just wasn't very effective, partially because I was bricking on just dudes. When I know this deck plays a billion counter runes, and I just didn't end up seeing them. And part of that's due to the hollows. I think the hollows also make the shuffling a little bit weird. But maybe it's me. So I'm kind of down to call this one too. Again, I think your directions for Lunar right now, until more Lunar stuff comes out, is you play this, you play Draking, or you play like Lunar Solar Beat. And that's like what you gotta do. But overall, Drop Server PTA is an option for better consistency. I think PTA, you still need like the control aspect of it, because your idea is that you're just gonna be sitting on the big dudes with the big beaters and hard bodies to out, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. But drops is better in terms of like shuffling things around. I'm just never the biggest fan of drops, because it just seems expensive and seems somewhat like cope. I'd rather just take the free draws and be fine with it. But I don't know, maybe it's good. Magical Mallet +1 is good. Who knows? Let's do Spirit Math real quick. Spirit Math is also pretty straightforward in this one. We have 2 waters. We need, oh god, 1, 2, 3. We need maybe 2 thunders because of our 3. Gonna be a little bit light with it. Solar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need minimum 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need 6. Okay, 6. But the rest of them would be Lunar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's not as bad. That's not as bad as I thought. Maybe we can go a little bit higher on the solar. Go like 1 more solar. And then just go 10 Lunar. It seems really low, but you might just be stacking up stuff for Lunar and then using the rest of it for your Nectar of the Gods and other stuff like that. Third Zaptor, we probably could. We probably could get away with 9 Lunar, or 10 Lunar, and like the Zaptor. It's there. I love it. What's going on, BT Hugo? Hello, good to see you. Welcome to the second stream. You missed the first portion of the stream. The first portion was crazy. We spun a wheel. Shocker. Picked up whichever element we spun and have been building all the decks inside of here. Big recap for people who've missed the, apparently, after the internet cuts out, YouTube doesn't like to kick you back onto the same stream. But we'll save this one as Lund. Absolutely. However, let's talk about it. So to recap, we've got the dad came back with milk, cows for solar. I think solar could be seeing a lot of play in the upcoming format, which is super cool. Looking forward to the third. Me too. Me too. But I think solar could see a lot of play in this upcoming format. I do think solar with the cows is going to be the way to go. Apollo is expensive, but I think this is unfortunately going to be like really strong. It doesn't really need a lot of counter runes, and altar could be cope as well, but oh well. Camel could go into the solar list, maybe. I think you don't really need it for the Jatara stuff, but it's pretty solid overall. Next, we have check on your fems for Frost. This list I'm very terrified of, the Frost turbo stuff with Moralith. It seems like cope, and it is extremely expensive. But holy god, is it not actually somewhat scary? The point of vomiting a bunch of big 2-drops that are hard to deal with is insane. And I've seen someone cook with this list immensely. And I myself got burned. This list can slap. Again, it's rudimentary, but also check on your fems. All right, next, Air Jordan, shout out to peeps. Wind up to the top, baby. Wind Nexus right there. Who would that be? I don't know, Josh, you tell me. Wind Nexus is our next up on the chopping block. Again, I think it was Siberian who's talked about, or Sib, said that there is a right bubbling there. Wind is up for grabs in terms of its tops, in terms of its next win. Its natural predators in the form of Lavalith and in the form of Laurels are less likely now. So you're more safe to do altar P-Gus stuff, and it's Peem. It's peak. It's good. One of the strongest power plays inside the entire game is going off with that, and that's insane in itself. I'm playing 3 Swirl in this list versus a 2 Galaxair, but it's probably fine. Again, really straightforward. Not a whole lot to this one, but, you know, Wind can see some play. Next. We did revise our Moan and Arcalith, but I think this list will need more testing. I rank this thing a 9 out of 11 because it requires more investigation. So the big thing with this list versus like a straight up Thunder list, which is what I was really theorizing, is I think Thunder is in a really weird spot. Thunder has all the tools necessary, I think, to succeed. It's just 5s, but has native removal in the form of Race to the Top. It does lose to Cryoblast on some level, but also doesn't. It's very strange. You do want to play things like the healers. You have 3 native Arcalith, which could be good and free for any sort of removal. On top of that, Eddie, for example, could be their beater here. I don't know. Eddie is a little bit suspect. I'm not super sold, but this is like, Thunder, I think, has something here. And I think it just needs to be like, it's like in the back of my head. Like I can see Thunder working and it's like right here. But I don't know what that is. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is. Thunderstorm, I don't know. Maybe it's his coat. But that's that one. What else? Moan, Arc, wet. We built water. Let me show you the timer real quick. We built this list in 1 minute and 12 seconds. That's how long it took brain power wise to devise a wet list. It's not Wexus, it's not Chronodile, which both could see a lot of play. Instead, I opted for what's the most straightforward water deck I could build? Minute 12 seconds. And that's with some deliberation. I could have done it in 45 seconds. But you know, I'm shoot to kill. That is what we're dealing with here. The king! The king is here. But this is effectively what we're looking at for like probably just very standard water 5s. Cool. Not exciting, but I think will be fine. And now we've moved on to, it was actually good spirit math. It's got insane good spirit math compared to like the lunar stuff, right? But Lund is our next one that we've been doing, which is like the Pharaoh Geist list. I don't know about this deck. Big thing is like it does need further testing and further investigation, also a 9 out of 11. But the problem with this list overall, I think, is the fact that like it did get cooked in the testing session specifically by the turbo strategy, which is kind of made to be a problem for lists like this. But as a game plan list, I think it's fine. It can kind of work. Now, I'd like the Nabi inclusion as like a beater, and also it gains to when receive for Lunar right now, but it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if this is something that's just cope. It might be complete cope, or it actually might be able to work. And that's kind of where we're at with this Lunar list. Kind of the problem. Again, you could play Draken here, play Draken with a heavier sense of Lunar. But I think overall, the Kaufmel into Pharaohgeist, stacking with First Light for drawing, or any sort of like Artemis plays with just big body and sitting on it, then turboing out into Pharaohgeist the next turn, is the way to go. It's kind of how you have to play this list. I think that Rise is a little bit cope. But I don't know. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. Not exactly sure. But chat, how would you rate this list out of 10? So, to recap as well, the Solar list got an 8 out of 10. The Frost list got a 6 out of 10. Could you believe it? What did I do after that? I literally just recapped it all and I can't remember. Wind got a 9 out of 10. We got some 8s and 9s for the Wind list. As well, for Unk, 7, an 8, and a 13 out of 10 for that one. So averaging out maybe about a 7 or an 8, right? For we didn't really rate wet 5s, but I'm just gonna give it a strong 8 because it's just like, what else do you want from the list that can do everything? And big beaters, who knows? But for this Lunar strategy, I see 5. And that's probably fair. I don't know if it's cope here. Inside of set 4, it will be very scary. Inside of now, the nowadays time for October 1st, maybe this will be the list that we bring to the casual tournament just to see if it is real and if it does perform at all. I don't know if it's true, and I don't know if it'll work. But we'll see. Again, there's a lot of really interesting lists I think that we could devise. And this maybe is one of them. Unsure. But for now, I think we have to move on. A Lunar Bronto list. A Lunar... The Bronto Wisp. That one. Absolutely. Lycan kind of got it. I'm waiting for Gloombat so I can go nuts. Gloombat will be... I'm a Gloombat truther. I think this card's good. But it'll be interesting to see how it develops the meta. There are 2 types of people with the new ban list. There's a lot of scary decks out there. There's also gonna be a lot of different flavors of the same piles. Agreed. Absolutely agree. I'm not exactly sure which one's better right now, but we'll test that out. Okay. So moving on. Ba-doop. Moving on. Everyone. Gamble once again. We are here for our last big gamble. We have two elements left. Earth, the best deck inside of most top formats, and Fire, a fairly underexplored very underexplored element. I think there's a few different ways to play Fire. Bears, Follow the Wisps, Bears, but like Fire Nexus is something that's been on people's minds, so maybe we'll build Fire Nexus. Not exactly sure. That being said, we will spin, we will win, and we have a 50-50 shot of hitting anything. So let's spin it. Go, 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 go. Fire! I was actually hoping to get Fire last, by the way. Okay, that's fine. Fire is our next one. And also 1K loss, that's right. By channel points, this would be crazy. Fire is interesting. A lot of different ways to play Fire, and I think Fire actually has a pretty solid game plan into other things. Right now, Fire Nexus actually might be pretty solid, but Fire also lost one of its main power players in the form of 3 copies of Lavalith. Does that really matter? Does it really change anything? Unsure. But for now, I think we have to look at Fire and Fire Nexus and see what kind of tools we have available to us. So, let's get to building. And lastly, we'll have Earth when we come back here. So, we'll see. We shall see. All right, wheel goodbye. Back to the Grillbees. All right, new deck. Fire. Let's talk about Fire. And is Fire actually Fire? Man, I don't know. It's so interesting because I feel like Fire has a lot of good tools. Like if I'm building a Fire Nexus strategy. Oh, fun guy, my beloved. Spores! Big fan. But I think we need to build a Fire Nexus version of this list. I don't know if it's really possible to do. Because again, it's just so awkward. There's so many random cards that just aren't good in this strategy, but then there's some random cards that are really good in this strategy. I know some people are like, Scavacle is nuts, but like, I don't know. Wisps control all the way. I can see that for sure. I think like Fire also can play chains, which is kind of interesting, but like that becomes like kind of a really funky thing for this list. Like, are you trying to go for an OTK version of this list where you're playing things like Helios' Chariot Ride? Like, Chains of Prometheus is a card that effectively is like when it resolves, it's amazing. But why not just play Helios, right? And I guess the idea is that you can like, maybe you can just get rid of the rune instead of having like to not worry about it for a turn, but I really don't know if that's cope or not. So, we'll see. Follow-Wisp is pretty cool. And I think Follow-the-Wisp inside of the side deck could be sweet. We probably do need to play Eruptions because we just can. But let's go into the main the main runes and build from here. Because we do need to actually see what we can do here. Chain is reactive, Chariot's proactive, halfway. I think that's true. Because like, while Chariot is proactive in the way that you are actively shutting down things, typically it's not hard for opponents to activate a counter rune at a key moment, and then that to be shut down with your chains, right? Ultimately. Versus I don't think that, like, I don't know, maybe because the removal is not there anymore, so it's safer to go into Helios as a B. But, like, oh man. See, like, this is such a weird list. Like, you can just go into everything. 3 Eddie, probably, because he can, because you want to, but it does not feel good. It does not feel good to do any of this. What's going on, Sunny? Hello, good to see you. Why are we doing a random 1 a.m. stream? Well, funny enough, it wasn't random before, and it wasn't 1 a.m., but the internet cut out, and we're doing a second random 1 a.m. stream, part 2 of our lecture series, or our build series. But what we're doing right now is we spun a wheel. We're on the last 2 decks. We're playing Earth and Fire. We're building Earth and Fire. So if you missed it, or coming in, we're trying to build, there was a wheel. Let me pop up the wheel. One must imagine a wheel with all the elements. We're building 1 deck per type. Just something that I think could be good or see play inside the meta. And I don't know. I really don't know about Fire. Fire is the one I think that'd be like, it's such a strange little archetype. Because what do you do here? What do you do? Like, if we're going to try to really booster this strategy hard turbo, it's this. And does that feel good? What is this list? Josh, this would be an amazing list for you to doctor. Because Fire Nexus is all over the place. What do you even do with this strategy? Like, you cut down and you play 3 of random stuff. This list looks lost. That deck is my baby. Fire, unfortunately, I think is half cope. But it is so cool. And it can work. Lack of removal and lack of Lavalith and Laurels makes this deck feel insanity. But I don't know. Unfortunately, it's one of the best decks post-ban list. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I just don't know. And I don't know where you fit it in. Because right now, what are we on? We're on the 1 Lavalith. Bears don't count as fire. That's also true. But bears are based, and the bears are really cool. And I'm a big fan of the bears. What do we go? Wasp Ivy here? Lol. No. Let's go back to the fire Elestrals. Like, I think there's a realistic possibility you probably could run into, like, what? Scavicle, you go Exalt Flare to turbo into something in your hand. I don't know. I think fire control stat overall, possibly. You know, I do think that people were running things like, and if I had to spoil anything, running things like a, where are you? Here we go. Argo Necklace. Bronto Wisp is so good now. I hope that Bronto Wisp is good now. I really want Spores to be good. And I guess it could be. Native 3 like removal, it's a stall into it, and you can potentially do the lock now much easier. That seems pretty good. Right? That seems pretty good in itself. And you can bring out the Bronto Wisp, which is sweet. Also run 6 Eruption with the Earth guy. That's true with Vesuvituga. You could run the 6 Eruptions with Vesuvituga. But maybe you don't even need the Eruptions. Because, I mean, Spirits are much better. I don't know. I'm gonna come back to this and give thoughts on the server. Don't have to work in a few hours. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. I would love to know, because this is quite literally one of the biggest head scratchers inside this entire thing. While I can see the vision with Thunder, I don't think I can particularly see the vision with this. Right? I don't really think I can see the vision with Thunder, with Fire Nexus. What are you playing, Rumacol? Maybe. Maybe. Not sure. In fact, I haven't even checked any lists so far stuff. But I might just scroll past. In fact, hold on. We're scrolling. I'm gonna check for a fire list here. I'm cheating a little bit here. But I'm looking for a good fire list. Here it is. 3, 3, 3, 2, 2 Kinleo. Don't hate it. Interesting. How fascinating indeed. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it though. I'll say this though, I think the best decks after Altar receives some sort and triggering the Circle off Altar, I think that for the Pharaoh guys list specifically, that can be the case. I think for Solar and someone with the Solar decks, Solar could also potentially do it, which would be kind of nice. But man, oh man, is Fire a deck that I don't know can really handle Altar. It could if you're playing Hephaestus in here. But do you need to play Hephaestus? I don't know. The flex spots I can see are these double eruptions randomly. Don't really need the eruptions. Right, there's kind of flavor. And then what? 2 Kinleo? Kinleo's kind of bread and butter for this list. Maybe Eddie. The 3 Eddie makes sense. Bonk. Maybe the 3rd Necruff, because you kind of need it as like a big body beater, especially under Forge for it's a 6. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. Stoke. I think Stoke is a little bit slow and will unfortunately always be slow because like apparently the big thing that you're missing from like a deck like this is that you don't really need consistency. You have the best searcher for any guy in your arsenal, which is Smoltuga. Right? What does Stroke do again? Stroke to Forge does cast. It can only be cast if this searcher deck for one spot, one spirit cost Elestral. That's fire. I don't hate this, but I do think it's less effective than just playing the Rumacol overall. And then it's like, as a searcher, it's kind of neat, but I don't love it. You know? I don't particularly love it. I think we can play in this the counter rune stuff. I think we can go into like a Tsunami. right? Seems non-committal, and that's the problem. Yeah. You can't just put in good stuff. Like, you can put in good stuff, but the good stuff doesn't quite work in some capacity, right? Like, it can, but it's like what is it missing? And maybe it's the Ascension line. Maybe it's like 2 Ascensions into like a Scavicle drop. Not exactly sure. I don't think you want to play things like the Argos, but you could. Like what, you're foregoing Tsunamis here, probably? You think you need a power play? I think so too, and I think that's like the Argo stuff, ultimately. Like 3 Argo, 2 copies of other things could be pretty decent. Like Poison Tunic, maybe. I don't even like Poison Tunic that much, but it's like fine. Hot take, I cut Comagma in my fire list. I had to play more 5s over it. I think that's not a bad option, right? Maybe you played, maybe this becomes effectively just like Galaxy 5s. But it's like, I think Comagma works really well with getting into your power plays and also pairs really well with Ash Rabbit, but it is a little bit slow and it's only a 5 under Forge. So it's not really super useful, right? But you could go just 2 2s and like a 3rd Forge. Like I think Forge at 3 is maybe crazy. But yeah, let's make a water 5s, but with fire instead of water. Also very true, right? Right, like that's kind of the other problem. Like you could go like an Exalt Flare route here and go for like Rummikul or the Scavicle stuff, and that's an option. Fire's got a lot of cool options. Let's pull up the Fire Elestrals. But it's like, to what end is it useful? Blazer's OTK does exist and is really neat. You could try to combo it inside of like a Leonite lock, which is like kind of cope, but it's like, you know, whatever. Where's Exalt Flare? Where's that problem card? There you are. Exalt Flare is good and can help turbo out into like turn 1 effectively, or turn 1, turn 2 Scavicles can search your entire deck. And 2 cards with cost of 2, you can search Lavalith, which is kind of cool. Like that's searchable Lavalith is always neat, or you can just add 2 cards to your hand randomly. So playing the Exalt Flare off this could be kind of cool. Minusing the necklace and playing just a straight Nexus bank could be the way to go. I don't even hate that. You also can search the Necklace of Harmonia off of the Hephaestus. Also don't hate it. Fire is weird. Fire is so weird. I said this about Thunder. Thunder is more straightforward, water is more straightforward, but fire just has so many random ways to play it, and none of them feel good. None of them feel good to play. Brontowisp is really cool, but seems kind of slow. This version of it, Fire Nexus, seems like it's just hodgepodge. Doesn't have a lot of cohesion, which kind of sucks. And then it's like, Bears is sick, but Bears is not really fire. You know, like it is fire because it's predominantly fire, but it's like 8 fire spirits, 7 fire spirits in fact. But yeah, I don't know. It did lose a lot with Lavalith being gone. I'll just say it. It misses Lavalith. It's true. It's true. But I don't know. So Comagma's cool. I think Comagma's a cool when received as well for like a Nexus Kinleo shenanigans, but I think instead we might consider our options here for like 2 Exalt Flare. And then like a Scavicle, like a one-off random Scavicle. What's going on, Mace? Hello. Thought the stream was dead? No. So our internet died, and YouTube doesn't do the thing that Twitch does where it brings you back to the same page if it's been like a little bit long enough. This one, we were out for just short enough. Literally, internet came back like 2 minutes. Like 1 minute more, 1 minute less, and we've been back on the same page. Big chillin', stream go crazy, be fine. But now it messed up. Sucks. Need a quick recap? Absolutely. We'll say this one as Shaka Khan. So far, quick recap. Dad came back with Milk. Solar, 8 out of 10. Probably pretty good. I think this is going to be very strong and funny to play into the next command format. Next, check on your Fems. Frost. Scary. Very obtainable. Next, Air Jordan, Winds. Pretty good. Not bad overall. Very straightforward, and honestly, we'll see it come up. Next, Unk, Save Me. Thunder, we gotta figure out Thunder. I don't know what it's gonna be, but there's some legs here, I can feel it. Finally, Wet. Water. Water is the most straightforward list. Again, we built it in like a minute, 12 seconds. And I think this list can do it. Now it's, again, just water 5s. And there's a few different ways to play. We can play Water Nexus, you can play Chronodile, and maybe that's better because you're just drawing cards and seeing more of your outs. But again, straightforward, low to the ground, it seems fine. Don't hate it. Next, Looned. We played instead for the Lunar Spirits. We're trying to build a Pharaohgeist list. Now, Pharaohgeist turbos effectively sit on Big Dude, alter, protect, and then next turn Pharaohgeist. That's it. After you stack, you draw into it. Next turn, you circle the sky onto one of them, and you just plop out Pharaohgeist. Technically, we're playing 2 Pharaohgeists because we're playing the first light to stack, or we can flex option into one of the other Lunars. So you're putting your opponent on a clock pretty much regardless. Is it telegraphed? Absolutely. Is it good? I don't know. I think the decks that I was playing against got washed on it, but that's also particularly what that deck does. It's just swarm and it's hard to deal with. So slower decks I think will have a problem with Pharaohgeist, but that's fine. And then finally, Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan, we are trying to build some sort of Fire Nexus strategy, and I just straight up do not know if the play is what we think it is. You know? Like, technically, do we need the Laurels because we have Kinleo? Maybe. But maybe not. You know? So maybe we just do this, and we do 2 Argo, maybe just 2 Shield overall, and we play our Nexus Bank for fires and go any fire. And we go for, where's our Hephaestus? In the Forge! The Forge! Yeah, what do you think Pharaoh does against 5s? I think it's fine. Like, Pharaoh against 5s is interesting because, like, 5s runs a lot of removal, but you are sitting on either a big defender of some sort, and then you're playing Keep Away for 1 turn, and you just turbo out the Pharaohgeist later. Pharaohgeist, like, is big enough to withstand most forms of removal because Laurels is gone and Laurels is gone. Laurels is at 1, Earthquake's at 1, less likely that will happen. It doesn't really have a lot of outs, can't be shielded, which is kind of cool. But I don't know. Drop a Hef for a third Forge. I do like that. I think it's like a little more utility and makes our guys bigger, which is fine. Yeah, it can't be Laurels regardless. Yeah, it's like, it's also a really nice offensive tool and still burns, so there's stuff you can do with it. I don't like the rabbits. Yeah, I don't know. I think the rabbits are good and just a generic 5 that's like solid to do. I think Ash Rabbit underutilized in this strategy, but I do think what you could do is go down to 1 Ash Rabbit and play something else. I think also the problem that I'm having with this list is there's a lot of 2-ofs that just randomly do nothing. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. But Fire Nexus, I think overall has some legs and can be there, right? Like, I think Ash Rabbit just gets you into more consistency pieces. Like, it just digs you for your stuff and your Ascensions. Exactly. Like, it's mainly a setup deck to pay off for your Exalt Flares and your 1 copy of Scavicle to search your entire deck. And it's a 5. Doesn't lose to Eddie. It's pretty big. I wish there was better cards to search off this. Like, if you're playing a one-off, like, Chains and Lavalith combo, that could be really, really cool. But there's just, you just don't want to do it. I think you just don't want to do that overall. So I'm ready to call this one. Let's do Spirit Math. Let's do Spirit Math. First things first, we need 2 copies of Trialist for our Earthquakes. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need at least 3 Waters, maybe 4 Waters, because we want to misenchant the Necruff. Speaking of 4s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. For Ash Rabbits, we probably could go into 3 just for re-enchant. And then we finally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We desperately need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fires. That is probably non-negotiable there. Holy, the Spirit Math is also whack. Side tangent about fire. Fire is the hardest to build, has the least deck cohesion, and also the spear math gets funky real fast, which I think is incredible considering. But yeah, lava with my beloved. Lava with my beloved. I think this is like, unfortunately, through the fire, through the limit, and to the wall. This is what we have to do. Let's do the Counter Tech inside Boltuga for Eruption. We could. The Boltuga Eruption stuff's pretty sweet. Like, I think it's good for like the Earth strategy specifically because it can natively play. This one, harder to justify, but we definitely could. Yeah, if Hephaestus can get off removal, now the creature removal is currently based. That's true. We could put in, instead of Poison Tunic, play instead the runes. Play a hammer, gets +1, can be targeted by opponents less effects. Pretty good. What's going on, Kevin? Hello, good to see you. We were just talking about the tech. How are you live at this hour? Well, let me recap for you. We had a wheel. The wheel had every single element, and we've gotten down to just the last one of Earth. But what we're doing now is we are building one deck or one spirit type of each element. We have wind, of what I think the general gist is what decks I think could be good in this upcoming meta, or things that we could build off of just a gut feeling. Wind and Wind Burn, really straightforward, pretty fun. We saw Shaka Khan or Fire, the Fire Nexus stuff, again, Copium Rejoice. We have Check on Your Femmes or the Frost List. The Frost List is messed up. This thing is crazy. But that's where we're at with the Frost List. Dad came back with the milk. Cows Solar, I think, is unfortunately the way to go. You have effectively a lot of protection, a lot of really great consistency tools. This deck just kind of does a bunch of stuff. I like it. Big fan. Big fan. Pretty cool looking. Next we have Looned, which is our Lunar, aka the Pharaohgeist list. I think Pharaohgeist is not great, but at least there's a turbo strategy into it. I don't think Lunar is going to be insane right now, but eventually could be. Right, obviously, other than Jiraking, which we'll get into. Unk Save Me, Thunder Beats Down, or a Thunder strategy for 5s. I think this has legs. I think this has a lot of legs. A Lava Lith of legs. But, I don't know. Arcalith and Unkalith save me. Save me, Unk, save me. I think further testing is needed. Again, 9 of 11. And then finally, Wet. It's just 5s. It's just water 5s with some extra splashable Draking stuff. 1 Kerbis, 3 native removal. Really strong. Really strong. More testing needed, but overall, I think this is probably one of the most safest bets inside of the entire meta. All right. Now we were on Shaka Khan as our last one for fire. But yeah, all I'm seeing in this deck as a whole is they have 0 outs to Voltempest. Voltempest stalks through the roof, and you're not wrong. Voltempest is very scary. And I do think that game plan decks like Voltempest will see a rise, and we can actually see play. Not a fan, but very possible. Very possible. But I don't know. We'll see. Fire Nexus, though. Cool strategy. Hope it sees more play. I want to be proven wrong. I think Fire Nexus is really interesting, but every time I play this deck, I'm just like, what's going on? Anyways. All right, everyone. We have one more spin. This is the play. One more spin. We have to spin just for placency's sake. What is gonna be the winner? I can't tell you, but gamble, you will win. We will win. Let's go! Yeah! Let's go! Earth! Yeah! It's Earth. Earth is the last spirit element we have to talk about, a deck that literally gets changed very little, except for the inclusion or the limiting of Earthquake. However, it is arguably still one of the strongest decks inside of the entire meta. And we're gonna build it very similar to water. We're gonna have a timer. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to actually build this list. And this time we might even include spirits because it is just that simple. Just that simple, just that straightforward. It's crazy. So many different things you can do with it. But pretty much, you can play what you want to play. All right, let's get to it. I have this choice. We are now back. Turn back on the wheel. At the wheel. Boop. Goodbye, wheel. All right, let's build Earth. Earth is like baby straightforward, so let's start a timer. I'm going to be a little bit behind on the timer because unfortunately I have to swap windows. So ready? 3. Well, this is not super exciting for music now, is it? Perfect. All right. And in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're gonna build and filter out into. We can start with runes. 1 rune, 2 here, 2 Foley. You might even need 2 Foley, 2 Tsunami. You can maybe even cut the 2 Tsunami, which is crazy to think about. You could even put in Cryoblast. We're not gonna. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. Sort. Missing anything? No. Okay, cool. Now on to the Elestrals. Any spirit type. Thunder. 3 Rabbit. 3 Chick. Okay, Elestrals. Earth. We're gonna put in 2 Cryspore. We're gonna put in 2 Moss Station. 3 Mudlet. 3 Viscerus. What am I missing here? 3 Equilinks, the best card inside the entire game. Holy. Oh, Laurels. We can put in Laurels. Rune. Any. Forgot about Laurels in the deck. Laurels. What am I missing? 2 more cards in here. What's the difference between the last Earth and this list? Earth. I guess 3rd copy of the Mustation. Might as well. My clicks are not as fast enough, and my brain is not working. Boop. 1 more card left. I guess it's got to be Shield. I guess you can put in Shield, and there you go. End of the line. Boop. All right, stop the count. Minute 17. Minute 17. Minute 23. Altar, right. Altar, that's what it is. You're right. It's not Shield. It's 3 copies of Altar. It's you. What did I put 2 copies in? Tsunami, the third Laurels, and a Foley Forest. Take out Foley Forest, put 3 Altar in. There we go. Little more brain dead, but we'll go there. Cryspore is interesting. So to talk about Cryspore a little bit, let's back to Professor Swolak's talk. Because I think this is important somewhat. Okay. So this is Earth. This is what we built for Earth. This is the most straightforward list. If I'm going to really I really want to test Cryspore because it's just walking Earthquake. But like for real, we literally could just put in 2nd Mustation, 2nd Foley Forest, and this list would be just as fire. So for example, 3rd Mustation, and then Rune, 3rd Foley Forest. There we go. This is just Josh's list. This is literally just Josh's list. Yeah, quite literally just Josh's list with minus Earthquake, minus Resting on Your Laurels. Like the hot take in this one is that if you're playing Cryspore, you do have more things you can ascend over because Equilinks will always be live. Equilinks is going to be a real big problem this upcoming meta because it's strong, it's big, and the Nexus cards are crazy. Earth doesn't really lose anything, and Earthquake at 1 hurts, but it's like the deck had no problem getting over things before. And Altar is still crazy for things like Crab. Mudlet is effectively an out to everything. This deck has the most removal, a lot of consistency, and you can build it a bit like a billion different ways till Sunday. Now, for my money's worth, it's also very modular. Some people would say not, but I think I would. And the reason why I say that is because you can swap very easily random 3 cards for things like Verdolith or Nerdolith, right? You could play Bloom if you wanted to. We're kind of off Bloom, but Bloom is still pretty good. And there's a lot of different ways to play Earth. And for that reason, Earth is one of the best decks. It's super straightforward. And this doesn't change other than the fact that you have the earthquakes in here. So what I'm looking to experiment with, because we'll talk about the experimentation portion a little bit. I'm looking to experiment with either a 1-of copy or a 2-of copy of an Elestral called Christbore. Now, Jesus Christbore is Superstar, is a 2-drop 7/5 Earth. Again, it doesn't lose to anything. It's pretty beefy, so it can hit over most of everything. And it says you can expend 2 Earth in order to target an opponent's Elestral, suppress it, and destroy it, which is pretty cool. This card, I think, is very interesting as the game is a little bit slower now, and the game, effectively, the removal options mean that most things are going to stick on the board more often. That means that Christbore is your walking 3 copies of Earthquake, or repeatable Earthquake that you don't have to. It's Earthquake 2.0. I think Earthquake on legs or Earthquake 1.1. It's like same but different, right? It's like good too. There was no real need to run it before because Earthquake was just faster, but like you could play 1 copy, you could play 2 copies. It's probably fine. Your deck is uber consistent enough, and you could just modulate all of this. It's such an easy deck to side deck for, and all of your choices matter. You could play Boombat, you can play Nerdolith, you could play your 3rd Mustation. Again, the concept is you always pretty much have like 4 flex spots. You have copies of Tsunami. This could be Eddie. This could be 2 copies of Eddie. And that's wild. For me, I want to experiment with Christbore a little bit. And I think that's the main gist of this all, is that I would rather play something like Christbore just to see if it works. You know, be kind of fun. But Eddie is a great slot here. Just play 5s, but it's Earth, right? I don't know. Yeah, the new Earth lists are super interesting. They're much more wide open. I think they're wide open specifically because you have like if we're gonna save this deck, we're gonna save it as Jesus Christbore. Save. But like you really have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have five deck spots. Look at that. 5 deck spots to put in anything you want. That's crazy wild bananas. That's crazy nuts banana pants. Like, put in Tectaris in here. Sure, it's still good because Earth is like one of the best element types. By far, this is the deck that loses the least in the ban list, but it gets a little bit funky with not having an instant speed removal, so the deck is like slightly slower. But it still has all the outs in the world to everything. Mudlet's removal, Viscerus' removal, Equilinx's removal, Mustation's removal, Rabbit's removal, Chica's removal, Vis's removal, Foliforus's removal, Laurel's removal, Alter's removal, Poison Tipped Arrow's removal. You got my point. So, you know, if we go back into, oh God, what was it called? It's called Jesus Christbore. I think we can hop into the Spirit Math here and check it out. So let's go into it. Spirit Math, really easy. Ready for this one? I'm gonna do this in reverse order. Usually want to start with your least enchanting spirits, but I'm gonna go with the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 water spirits for your tsunamis, you don't have to, and then the rest of it thunder. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. That took 2 seconds. 2 second Spirit Math. You can even cut these if you want to play Cryoblast in here, go for it. You can play Cryoblast and Tekken 2 Frost Spirits, and that's also free, right? Put it on the side deck if you want to. Like, this is the real, again, you have 5 flex spots and your Spirit Math is like insane. Look at this. This is the easiest Spirit Math out of all these lists, including Thunder. I thought Thunder was pretty easy. Earth is easy, and it's free. It's free, it's easy, it's a good deck, and it has a high technical ceiling. Beats 5, it's a great matchup into it. Has native removal in Earthquake, might see native removal instead of Christbore. Again, experimentation, don't quite know. And then can play every counter rune under sun and take advantage of even niche ones like Altar of Stars. Earth is the perfect life form for this deck, and it just gets better because you can side deck into the sun. Want to play Verdolith? Absolutely. Here, we'll do it for you. We haven't done side decks, but we'll do side decks for this one. Want to play, what's it called? Nerdolith? Sure, boop, boop, boop. Why not? You want to play the Eruption stuff? Go for it. Boop, boop, boop. Side in your other things. Perfect. Cool. Oh, look, one Moss Station. Neat. Like, it's just so easy to do. Again, it's like this and water are the most straightforward strategies because they ultimately have the best tools available to them. Native removal, good beaters, consistency. There's so many different ways to build the strategies too, but ultimately some of the best ways that you can build a strategy, especially right now at this game speed, is swing. Just straightforward. Really straightforward. You know? And I think that's a-okay and fine. Chat, how would you rate this Earth list out of 10? We didn't rate the other list, but I think this is about right for listing the lists. And we can go for it. 9, I see a 9, and I agree. Absolutely can agree with the 9. 9, 10, 9, 10. It's perfect. It's the perfect list. It is crazy to me, right? Between all the lists that we've talked about, like deck solved, right? Nothing much to do. Not much more improvement that you can really give it. Like Christbore is crazy. Like Christbore is like the weird one where you take 2 cards out at the bare minimum. You have 2 flex spots. At maximum, 5 flex spots that don't even feel that bad. Billion side deck options in the form of Boltuga, Verdolith, extra copies of your dudes. Could even go Boombat, Dense Fog even. You could go water, you could splash eddies in here. It's not fair. It's not fair. But it is Earth. And I love my girl Demeter. Oh, do I? More than she'll ever know. All right. More than she'll ever know. Okay, let's recap. So, if you're just joining us now, or you were a little bit late, we, tonight, spun a wheel with every single element on it. And inside those elements, we decided to build one deck per each element type. To try to make it as mono, or least mono as possible. That's completely fine. But the general idea is something that we can look forward to in this upcoming meta, something that we can experiment with, things that I think might see play and things that are gonna see play eventually. Again, maybe not the most creative decks in the world, but I think they're pretty safe. And some of them are old faces and some of them are new faces. So that's pretty cool overall. Let's go over the list. That way we can kind of wrap up here and show everyone. So let's go from top down order. First things first, Air Jordan. The wind list for this upcoming format, very straightforward, looks exactly like the old list. But what's old is new. And what's new is probably gonna win. I think we'll see a win top this upcoming format, especially because now your big power play like Aeolus and P-Gust and Altar of Stars is now live much more often. Plus, Toxic Swarm, really good burn card. Exaltair, really good burn card. That's great turn 1 and turn 2 and going second place. Pretty solid. Pretty solid overall. Like it. Next. Shaka Khan. Fire. I don't know where to place this deck. I really don't know where to place this deck. This deck is like cool and I like it. I've been told it's strong. I haven't seen it perform yet, and I would love to see it perform. However, maybe this is copium. I don't know. Maybe the fumes that are coming out of the Volcanic Forge are just straight copium gas. Big doubt, and it's interesting. This deck is, again, the most like spirit confused. It has the least amount of cohesion. It doesn't have a straightforward game plan. The Kinleo is good, but Kinleo is weak. To be experimented with. Again, 9 out of 11 needs more investigation from me. Next, check on your Fems. Frost. Frost is good. I think Frost will be insane. I think this kind of version or this kind of like turbo Frost strategy will be really scary. And again, this is more like a draft, so don't like take this as God's gospel. But I do think that overall, this type of list and strategy where you are actually utilizing Morolith and the Lycan form stuff to mill and just turbo out a big dude that's really hard to deal with, and then in subsequent turns doing Rhinosect or Cryolink, Cryovern, OTK style stuff, really hard to deal with. And yeah, it does have direct counters in the form of like Earth and maybe even Solar on some capacity. But because of the lack of removal, I mean, your opponent now has the onus to take care of your very large dude. Cool. But that'll be up to debate whether or not that's good or not. Dad came back with milk. Solar! Trish is going crazy. P-Gleam, my goat. This list is interesting. I don't know if it's its exact list per se, but I do think Solar has a lot of similarities to Frost. In the same way that you can play the deck pretty mono and get away with it. I think, again, the lack of removal does mean that you are going to see like Lunar Ascensions like Soul Stalks and Lustragon and Celestial a lot more common. Apollo, the best card inside of the entire deck, is now mandatory 3 of and can be utilized to its fullest potential. You could even put the Temple of the Sun in here, and that's pretty good too. But overall, I think I'm excited to see how Solar performs. I'm going to be testing Solar too because I really like the Neblio First Light stuff. Really, really cool. So we'll see. But I have a little more high hopes for this one. I like it a lot. Next. Moving on, we have Jesus Christ Boar, Earth. We talked about Earth just a little bit now as the last deck we built. I'm experimenting with Christboar. I think Christboar will be fascinating to kind of replace Earthquake, and again, because of Ascensions and how hard it will be to deal with things, things like Equilinks will run amok. This deck has all the forms of removal in terms of Mudlet, Mustation, Viscerus, Elichic, Equilinks is removal, and still has 1 copy of Earthquake. I don't know. Nerdalith stocks through the roof. Voltuga stocks through the roof. 14 Earth Spirits. What more could you want? What more could you want? It's Earth. Earth. Okay. Next. Lunar. We built Pharaohgeist. I think there's Pharaohgeist and Draking for these two, right? I think that Pharaohgeist is what I hope the deck can do, is a really cool turbo strategy a la Imperial inside of the Elestriad shenanigan stuff, right? Which I think is kind of neat. I do think that this deck also can have higher consistency tools because of First Light to stack things, and maybe it's just a deck that you sit on and you say, out my dude, if not next turn, I'm dropping Pharaohgeist, and you auto win from there. Don't know if that's good or not. Will be good inside of set 4. Very, very scared of Pharaohgeist inside of set 4. But as of right now, it's okay. I think this deck is just okay. Next, okay. I'll tie these two together. I think Moan and Arch and the Arcalith stuff inside of a 5s list, probably very playable. Again, up for debate if it's this specific version of the list or if it's more of like the Thunder version of the list, but again, up for debate on if this deck is really good. The lack of removal inside the meta is very strong, but this deck can also take advantage of like effectively that as well. So it'd be kind of scary, I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. I do like this one quite a bit, but who knows? Okay, next. We do have Unkalith, which was the follow-up to that, the Thunder version of this. I think Thunder in Thunder 5s and Thunder as a whole, again, 9 out of 11, something I keep on saying, the back of my brain needs something. And it's this list. It's gonna click, I swear. But ultimately, needs more investigation and more testing. I don't know if the ratios are good, if Eddie feels good, but something has to be here. And I'm not just saying that because I like Thunder. I'm saying that because I love Unk. Anyways, next. What am I missing? Morph, Solar, Thunder, Unk, Wet. And Wet. I think that's the last one. It is. Wet. Water is such a weird place. Again, you can play Chronodile. You could play things like a Kerberos list, Wexus with like the Nexus strategy stuff. But for my money's worth, I think just a straight Water 5s list with Draking is probably just fine. This could even be Specteris, and you play 3 rock in a hard place, native removal. Seems pretty good. Low spirit investment, plays around most counter runes, and has a big Bussy that you gotta worry about. A 9/2 Goober that potentially can get off a Nexus mechanic or a Draking. That seems pretty good. Draking's one of the best offensive tools too, which I think is pretty fun. There we go. So who knows? I think that water is very realistic in this upcoming meta. I think that we could see a lot of them. A lot of wind in this upcoming meta. I think we could see earth in this upcoming meta. You know what I'm saying? Let's actually do something real quick. Let me do something really quick, because I do want to go into something that's a little more straightforward with this. Tier list maker. We're doing it. We're making a tier list. We're making a tier list. I know it's dangerous for the Knots to make a tier list because we gotta make a template. Oh, actually, can I make a single-use template? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. I love single-use templates. Okay, element type, earth. Check. Got it out. Elements next, fire. Check. Next, water. Check. Oop. Thunder. Check. Wind. Check. And frost. Check your fems. Check. Solar. Check on your trifts. Check. And then finally, lunar. Check. All right. Let's talk. So, I'm doing the dangerous thing, and the Knots should not be doing this. Download? What's download do? Oh. Lol. Oh, weird. Okay. Do I think all these decks are good except for Lunar? It's like, good, you're good, not you, right? It's so funny. And Fire are just ultimately the same axis of play. Kind of, right? I think that we will see a little bit of uptick. Now, S, A, B, C, and D. I'm gonna call an audible here, and I'm gonna call the D tier 9 out of 11. Not because it's bad. It just needs further investigation. For S tier, you guys already know S tier. We'll just say top tier. She tops. She tops. She tops. A tier. I'm gonna go with meta contender. Nice and simple. B tier. Cope. And then C, we'll delete this one. And we'll recolor you to blue. 9 out of 11. B tier local legends. Oh, true. Cope that's probably better than Cope. Yeah, we'll go local legends. Local legend. That's a good one. Okay. So here's the rundown, right? The realistic rundown of this. We have She Tops, a good deck or a good spirit type that probably ultimately will do something or might do something. We don't know. Meta contender. She Tops, we know it's good. It's gonna perform, might even win a tournament. Meta contender. Something that I think is maybe on the fringe, and I think will legitimately see some play, and also might be very scary. Big might. Local legend, or B tier. Probably fine. Deck that might be fine. I don't know. It's good. Just bring it to locals. No, bring it to locals. Who cares? And lastly, 9 out of 11. 9 out of 11 because it needs further investigation. Few decks inside of here. Okay, so let's start. Let's start off with. Okay, ready? Fire. I'm putting fire in the 9 out of 11 tier. I don't see it. I've been promised, and maybe it's getting gaslit. This is the problem. You can't mix fire with gas. But I don't know if it's just good, or if I just don't know what I'm talking about. I hope this deck does well, but I'm hesitant to put it in local legend or meta contender. I'd like to see this deck convert. I would love to see this deck do well. I just do not know. I just straight up do not know if it works. Okay, that's the first. Water. She tops. She tops. She's good. She's good. She's wet. She's good. I think this is our first she tops out of the list because I think that the water list specifically, with the inclusion of Draking, Kerberos, it's going to be everywhere. The lack of removal means that decks like Chronodile can even set up, so water is a very flexible spirit type that I think will do very well. That's plain and simple. They have the best 5s variant. They have so many good removal options in the form of Rock and Hard Place, which is now native. Draking is the king. He's crazy. So good. I don't know. Water is on Fraud Watch, I think meta contender. Water might be meta contender, but I just think that it's just like it's been on Fraud Watch, but I think we'll see it with Draking. I think Draking will push it over the edge, and even if the case is that people are just playing Draking because like a big influx of people and they're playing Draking and it's like, oh, well, Draking is just getting represented, so someone will top with it. Maybe that's true. Law of averages, right? Effectively, what I'm saying, law of averages, but it's good, right? Lack of side deck options, but good, but really good. Wind. I think Wind is also she tops. Not only is she wet, but she's also kind of dry. No, that sounds terrible. Holy God, don't do that. I think that Wind is in a similar spot to Water. I think because of the lack of, again, natural predators in the form of Lavalith and Laurels, Wind sees like an uptick in play. It has a lot of the tools necessary to win these matches out. And again, it's big power plays in the form of P-Gust, Exaltair, Toxiswarm, has good beaters. It's consistent. I think we could really see Wind, a very straightforward Wind deck, perform very well. She dried after hearing that. And Water and Wind, right? I think it's pretty good. All right. Lunar. Lunar, local legend. I don't know if this deck needs any more investigation, so I can't accurately give it the 9 out of 11 tier, but I can definitely say that local legend is about where I could put Lunar. I love Artemis. Artemis is my girl. But unproven, at least in set 2. Wow. At least in set 3. I think instead of set 4, Lunar gets crazy, obviously. Moonrise is the namesake Lunar set. But even more so, from what I've been able to gather and see, the 3 drops might be a big problem. Pharaoh Geist is very scary. That's the list that we built here tonight, but I think it might be more than that. I think Pharaoh Geist can potentially do something a la a big 3-drop deck, but it's gonna be so dependent. So Pharaoh Geist Turbo, I don't know. But Lunar, unless it's specifically Draking, which at that point I'd say just play Water, maybe pretty good. But local legend for now. Take it to locals, have fun with it, have fun for now, and then when Moonrise comes, you can laugh at everyone that told you Lunar was cope. How about that? Okay, next. Frost, check on your fems. Meta contender. I think easily our first meta contender here is Frost. Everyone check on your fems. Rhino Sect. Moving on. No, I think that Frost has a lot of interesting tools, a lot of different ways to play Frost, and I do ultimately think that this deck, there's something here. I think that it has proven itself to top. I think that Frost overall, with the inclusion of either the Morolith strategy, where you're just turboing out big dudes with the cryo line, can be an issue. And a lot of decks, again, don't have the speed removal to accurately deal with these problems. But on the opposite hand, I think people could just play the straight Nexus version, or just play Rhinosect as a whole. And that deck has been proven to top and do well. So I think that also works. Plus native 3-form of Cryoblast, big bodies. It's peak. Rhinosex. What can you say? What can you say? Meta contender. I would put it in She Tops, but I just don't know. I just straight don't know if it can do it again. Right? I think that Wind and Water can do it again. I don't know if Frost can do it again, but it's like right here. It's like one of these two tiers, and I'm gonna put it in meta contender for right now because I would love to see it convert more. But for right now, I don't feel super comfortable putting it in top spot. But we can put it in meta contender. For sure. Alright. Thunder. Thunder, 9 out of 11 tier. My dearly beloved Thunder. Want to tournament with this deck? I think something's there. Spark it. Please come back to me, Spark it. Holding literally the glue holding the meta together. But Thunder, I think overall, it has something there, and I just need to know if it's cope or not. Right? I need to know if Thunder is cope. And I just don't know if it is. It's a deck that I think has legs. Unkelith is so good. It has native removal. But what's missing? Is it stat line? Is it just pure stat line? Is Unkelith, just the normal Unkelith deck better? I'm going crazy thinking about it. But we'll see. No way it's cope. Unk never differs to points. True, absolutely. Never mind. Thunder to the moon. She tops. She tops. It's crazy. Hey, what's going on, Trevor? Hello, good to see you. Hello from Ireland, Professor Swell. Hello, good to see you. And good morning. Good morning to you. Terrible Irish accent. Absolutely terrible. But what's going on, Nico? Hello, good to see you. Made your stream? Absolutely. Oh, crazy enough too, we have been live for an hour and a half, but we were live for 2.5 hours earlier. So hopefully YouTube doesn't mess us up in the algorithm. But this is the part 2 anyway, so go ahead and watch part 1 later if you're ready. But yeah, we're coping, but we just need one more card. Something, right? It's missing a 5. I'm just gonna say it. It's missing an attack 5. If Thunder had an attack 5, it's over. And you might be saying to yourself, well, literally you could just play anything in its 5. Yeah, I could play Thunder Puppy. And I kind of want to do it. But Jolton's a 5, right? Just run full Garys. Fun Garys is relegated to the fun tier. I would say it's desperately relegated to the fun tier. But, you know, again, 9 out of 11 needs more investigation. Just saying. All right, we'll talk about this one. Earth. Earth is good. Yeah. We've known Earth is good for like 3 years now. I think what's so funny about Earth in terms of putting it in the She Tops, which by the way means that not only is she hard, she wet, but she also dry, is that like, I don't know, man. Earth is good. I have no problem with Earth. I like Earth. I've started to fall out of love with Earth, but not out of love with my girl Demeter. More than she'll ever know. But I think the problem is that like this deck has a proven track record of topping. I think we will see tops for it again. I think that people were just not on Earth the last couple tournaments because of fun reasons. And it has the most straightforward game plan with just straight up the most removal. Equilink sticking on a board is a problem. And because we don't have Laurels, Earthquake's gone, like other decks just can't actually deal with Equilinks, not effectively. Not as they used to, right? And so that means Equilinks can stick on the board and get multiple, like, gets so much value. It gets repeated value over and over again, right? Then after that, and this is the scary part, I think, because the Equilinks will just retain on the board and gain value, it's going to gain max value for 2 reasons. Instead of set 4 because of Gloombat, and inside of this upcoming meta because of Rock and Hard Place. With Rock in a Hard Place, people are going to either not to want to set counter runes, which means they're not going to play it, which means Echo Links and the power players like Mudlet and like the Crabs and like Viscerus are even better. And then if you set like minimal counter runes or a lot of counter runes or bluffs again, guess what? They get sniped out by Echo Links. Very, very strong, super powerful. Super, super powerful. Quick Divine Rune tier list. Oh, okay. We're doing this? Okay. Let's finish this and I'll hit you with the sauce. I'll hit you with absolute sauce after this. Ready? Okay. Finally, Daybreak's namesake element and typing solar. Let's rank it. I think meta contender. I think it's interesting because solar, and everyone check on Trish. I think that while she might not top, we can't say she's hard, she's wet, she's dry, and also she's bright. She is. But I think we can say that this list, similar to Frost, is like right there. It's got legs. It was on the fringe before, and congrats to Dialis, Solar's strongest warrior. But overall, I think that we just won't see a ton of Solar, maybe initially, but maybe we'll see a lot later, or not. Maybe the floodgates have opened for Solar and we're about to see cows everywhere, which I would love. The deck is really cool. I think that cows stuff is really insane. And I think this deck list and the deck itself is just like super strong. Solar is a 9 out of 11 list. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe meta contender or it's not 9 out of 11, right? And I'm just realizing that we're putting like all the fire and dangerous elements inside of 9 and 11. Not really meant to be an explosion, but we'll see. I'm comfortable putting it inside of meta contender because we have seen a top before. And on top of that, I think that the tools that it has available to it were really weak into removal. But now because the removal is less common, like the deck can struggle sometimes into 5 and 5 strategies, but it's an easy keep away ranked deck that it's like nice and easy to see. That like the progression is very natural, right? I just got into Elestrals and don't get everything, but I really appreciate these discussions. Absolutely. Thanks for hopping in and saying hello. And also for listening. I'm glad you like them. I think because you just walked into, we can go over some of the lists. So let me go ahead and switch back real quick. So we're talking about our, like the spirits that we think are going to be the best for this upcoming meta and some upcoming plays. We're ranking, so to keep it a little bit on the easy side, this is how I would place all of these elements. We have earth, water, wind at the top. I think these are decks that will top and will perform. I think that meta contender, we have frost and solar. Again, not necessarily proven, but I do think that they have a lot of potential and have a lot of great tools, which is great. Local legend, I think you're taking Lunar. Luna's fun. And we'll see how Farrageist does. Now 9 out of 11 is the investigation tier. Fire, again, unless I'm being gaslit into the moon, I don't see it yet. But maybe we will. Maybe we will. Also, Thunder. I think Thunder, again, it's right in the back of my head. It's right there. It's itching at me. It's got native removal, plays Altar of Star as well, has great bodies, consistency. It's got everything, but why are we not playing it? And maybe I just need a reminder. Maybe I just need a swift kick in the pants to remind me of that, but Unkelith, my goat. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Go over the deck list real quick. Water, top contender, water. Top contender, water. We also have the Unkelith Save Me list, which is our Thunder 9/11 strategy. We kind of just need to know if this deck is good or not, depending. I think that we'll have to just see. We'll have to just see. Lunar list for Farrageist. Sit on Farrageist and go nuts. Who knows? I think Rise is just not okay, but we'll see. We'll see which one's better. I really, really am not sure. Jesus Christ, Boar. This is experimental Earth. Want to play Earth? Consider this list. Consider this list for Earth. Next, Dad came back with the milk. So happy. Solar cows. I think we'll see some play, and we have a lot of the cool solar stuff we can do now. Foretelling is so back. Love that. Love that as well. Then we have Check on Your Femmes, and please do anytime you can. Frost. More Frost, big body, turbo. Scary and real. Real and scary. Don't sleep on this list, and don't sleep on this lith even. Don't sleep on this lith. Moira length. All right, Shaka Khan through the fire. I don't know if I'm just through with fire, but frankly, I don't know. I don't know. But I would be happy to be proven wrong. I love Kinleo. I love fire. My OG love for this game came from fire. I just don't know. I don't know. And then lastly, wind. Wind is good. Wind is good. Wind is good again. I think it's good. I think it will be good. I think it will continue to be good. And I like that it is going to continue to be good. Good deck, flexible, solid, has good options. Nothing really changes. It's even more convenient, I guess, because you're playing more toolbox stuff. This deck is pretty modular overall. Spearmouth is a little expensive, but we'll see. Yeah, first is so is so insane. Fire can't melt through steel beam. Fire can't melt through. Imagine we get steel element. That'd be a little bit too on the nose, right? Anyways, that's the list. Those are the lists that you guys can check out and potentially experiment with. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like those lists or if they're even any good, what changes did you make for them? What decks are you playing in the upcoming meta? Let me know. I'd love to know. I'd absolutely love to know. And this is our element tier list. Which element is best? I think these ones. I think this is what we'll see in this upcoming meta. I think these lists are the most common. And as well, I think that we have some investigation to do on a couple of these elements. I'm looking forward to Lunar and the next couple of sets, but we'll see. Meta contender, of course, for Frost and Solar. I think we'll see these in the upcoming tournament this upcoming Saturday. I think also too we'll see Earth, we'll see Water, we'll see Wind. She's hard, she's wet, and she's ready. She tops. What duelist do you see overperforming in the individual elements besides Splashing Thunder? Ooh, what duel list? I think we will still see fives. I think that fives is still very much out there. I think it's just big body is just good. I think the removal, they'll even maybe tech and rock in a hard place. Again, wet fives will probably be the way if it's that. Is Sunday? Oh, okay. Webcam tournament's Sunday. My mistake. I think that we will see Thunder Wind, probably. We'll see probably Thunder Wind, the Thunder Wind toolbox stuff that the Jack Humo played, I think was pretty cool. I know Jai Keen might be cooking at that too. I think we also have the Rhinosect list will be multi-element. The Rhinosect list has a couple variants, one being of the Frost and one being the Turbo, and then the one being with Aeromare. And the Aeromare one is also pretty good. I think the Aeromare stuff is pretty solid, and we'll probably see that come up and with some experimentation. Might see some Water Frost with the Wayland stuff, kind of neat. I think as well we'll see a lot of like Fire Thunder in the form of the Unkalith deck. I think Unkalith will see a little more play just because it's a little more out there now. The deck wasn't like super performing before, but I think maybe because that was due to removal. Unsure. But that list plays like Thunder and Water and Fire as well, so could be pretty good. Could not be good. On not 10 billion% sure on that one, but we'll see. I think that's also the consideration with this sort of strategy and these sort of lists as well, but unsure. So that's probably my read on the multi-class list for sure. Yeah, Fire and Lunar could be real. Fire and Lunar could also be real. Copium, but it could be real. All right, are you all ready for the actual tier list? Okay. We need to make another single-use tier list. And this one's gonna be really easy. Ready for this one? Okay, minus all of these. I kind of only want like delete row. We'll go with 4. We'll go with emoji. We'll go with heart. We'll go with smile. We'll go with the nervous emoji, the Gohan emoji. And then we go with the I sleep emoji. There we go. Perfect. Got it? All right. If you haven't got what we're doing yet, that's completely fine. We'll add in our respectives. Ready? Elements. We have to do it. We have to do the actual net matters. Apollo. We got to go into the rest of our divines. Where's our divines? I'm finding them at press kits expeditiously. Divines, Keone, my girl. Divines, where's my press kit? Oh. Founders Edition, base set is probably the best way to go. Gods, Aeolus, Big Belly. Demeter. What's Demeter, Demeter, my love. Hephaestus. Poseidon. Zeus. And oh god, unfortunately my girl is not out yet completely. So we do have to grab the Shattered Stars version. Where's Shattered Stars? Oh, Shattered Stars is out. Hold on. Different press kit. Dang, I gotta sort. I really need to sort my files. I'm just gonna say it. I need to sort my files. Artemis. Artemis currently is only in the statue form. So statue's still bangable? True. Okay. The real tier list. If you guys must know. The real tier list. If you guys must know. Is it you? It's you. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll do this. I gotta adjust this real quick. Okay. The real tier list. This is the only tier list that ever matters. You ready for this one? This one's easy for me. Apollo. I sleep. Big sleep on Apollo. Keone. I probably can give her a smile. Like, oh, she's nice. Good to talk to. Super fun. But I can't give her the go. I can give her the Gohan tier. The yeah, that tier. That's the Gohan tier. So we can give her that. Aeolus. Big sleep. I love the big guy. He's so cool. But I big sleep. I big sleep. Hephaestus? Smile. I'll give Hephaestus a good smile. In fact, on a really good day, Hephaestus is like, hey, yo. Working that forge, huh, baby? However, I can give it a smile. I can give Hephaestus a smile. Actually, you know what? No, I'll give Hephaestus a hearts. I'll give Hephaestus all the hearts in the world. Absolutely. Poseidon, smile. I like Poseidon. That's not great. Yay, Poseidon, woo. I like definitely hotter than that, but I don't know. Maybe Keone's up here for that reason too, and it's really like this. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's more like this. Maybe it's more like this. Okay. Maybe for me it's more like this. Zeus! Instant top tier. Instant top tier. You gotta love this suit. If in fact, the chair pose does numbers, chat. Does numbers. What do that do? No. No! Easy peasy. Easy hearts. Easy hearts all the way. This is the hardest choice in my life. In fact, this is the hardest choice in my life. And it's wild. And it's absolutely wild. Because we have to make a new tier for it. We have to make a new tier, and we have to give an appropriate emoji. We literally have to go mind-blowing emoji for the new tier list. And And oh my God, I can't believe I have to say this. The way I have to rank these, and I have to explicitly say this, changes by the day. Sometimes you want a goth bowman just to shoot you a little bit, and that's totally fine. You know, in the wise words of Spike Spiegel, I love them when they can kick my ass. But other times, you're feeling it. You're shooting your shot, you're out of your league, but guess what? Damami is right there. And you're like, Death the toes, could Tef be the toes, you know what I'm saying? This goes back and forth every quite single day. I don't know what to tell you. Heart in conflict constantly. Heart is in conflict constantly, just ripping out. Damn. This is my tier list. This is my tier list for Divines. Hands down, full stop. Uncontested tier list. And look, I even moved Kion up to Smile tier. Smile tier is good here. Poseidon, I can leave here. You know what? If Apollo could even be here. Apollo could even be here. Aeolus could even be here. These two tiers mean literally nothing. They're practically the exact same half the time. For as much as I flip-flop on Hephaestus and or Artemis and Demeter, I flip-flop all the time on these two. And you know what? That could be there. I need an Ice Queen in my life? Hey, yo, say less. True. She not only she hard, she wet, she ready, she also cold. I'm saying she's good. Why Hef over Apollo? True. Demeter over Zeus? It's just something to, you know, you're right. Zeus is the OG. Move over, bisexuals. It's Hades 2 time. I'm so excited for Hades 2 on an unrelated note. I'm also out of water. That's good. When I really needed a tall drink more. But Zeus is right there. Incredible. Incredible. Oh, hello, Sky Guy. Hello, by the way. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Life could be so simple. Life could be so simple. Amazing. Can't wait for Demeter 2. True. All right, good, my friend. Enjoy the third stream later. Absolutely. When my internet inexplicably cuts out. Thanks, JT, for stopping by and saying hello. Everyone in chat, say bye, JT. Bye, JT. Bye. Good to see you. I think we will too. I think we tossed around the idea of like a Hades divine, which is like a lunar fire, right? I think we will see potentially 2-cost ones. I think we will see like other 1-drops in the same element. I think that we'll see like other earths, other fires, other whatever. Maybe like demigods, or maybe like other myths and legend gods. I think this is a very good spread initially, but maybe Kronos for another solar one would be insane, right? It has to do with like some sort of time factor. I don't know. Like how would you put in Kronos into any of that, right? It'd be crazy. Bears need a divine. It's on its way. Absolutely, it's on its way. A bear divine would be crazy. Mother Ursa. Yo. Okay, we're cooking. We're cooking. You gotta ascend on top of another divine. That would be great. The Titans. Wait, they're divines, but they're Titans. They have insane Mondo effects, but you have to ascend in the rune row over a god, and they're the Titans. We're crazy. We're crazy. Wait a minute. We're cooking. We're absolutely cooking. Oh God. Are they also searchable by Chick Pluck? Ooh, no. I think instead you have to make like a different card to do that. Like they'd still be searchable by the cards that search their element, for example. So like a double fire or a double thunder, that kind of thing. That could be fine. but I think you don't make them divines. I think you make them something else. Like you maybe they're like divines that can't be searched off of Elechik. Ooh, maybe they're just invoked runes. Maybe they're just invoked runes, or they're like something. You make them Titans. You introduce a new card type, and it's called Titans. Interesting. Man, I think that we're cooking. We're cooking really close to the solar element. That is to say, the sun. We're cooking really close to the sun. Insanity. Absolute insanity. This card cannot be searched as a divine. That's true. You can add that to every text, which is kind of hard to do. But you could definitely do it. I think for sure you could definitely do it. Yeah, I think making them searchable would make them playable. Also kind of true. With the demand you archetype, somewhat true. Make a Titan Searcher. I think a Titan Searcher could work. Make them Titan cards, make them kind of Titan Searchers. Like you'd have an Elechik Titan Searcher type of deck. Could be kind of neat. The Hades thing was also cooking too. We were cooking with Hades. We were also cooking with Hades, which is nice. But anyways. I think on that note, I think that we've streamed this part 2 for roughly 2 hours now. Again, we are compounding on our other 2.5 hours on our other stream, which I think was cool. Professor, make a schedule? I actually will. So here's the fun part. I think Sundays, and I'm gonna try to stream earlier on Sundays. That way we're not just up late as degenerates together. Because Professor Swolax also needs to sleep. But I think what we'll do is Sundays will be Elestral streams. Tuesdays, we'll try to stream the weekly casual tournament if there is one, and if not, then we'll maybe talk and do an actual Professor Swolax stream. The other time, I think we might try to stream on the Elestrals channel like Thursday or Fridays. Maybe we'll get some games in, maybe deck build a little bit, maybe recap from the tournaments on Tuesdays as well. Depending on how things go, it depends on the weekend. I think we'll do something like that. That's gonna be the first. Might stream on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel as well. There's that too. If you guys like this stream, make sure to leave a like as well. And if you guys haven't seen the previous part 1, you guys should go watch part 1. It's 2.5 hours long, but I think it is very, very worthwhile. I think it's a lot of fun. And give that one a like as well. Share that around. Both these parts, I might try to combine together inside of a uniform video. Might be pretty long, but I think we could do it. As well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video or like this stream, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more from us and the Elestronauts, make sure to hit subscribe. I always really appreciate you guys. Thank you for keeping me sane through 2 separate streams and for the power outage and etc. You know, I think I really do appreciate everyone that stuck around and that it's here. You guys are the real ones, for real. And hopefully we'll have our late night yap sessions sometime soon. Take care of yourself first and foremost. If it's late for you, go get some sleep. If not, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever it is in the world that you're watching this. And eat some food, take care of yourself. I'm probably gonna finish up my protein shake. It's been sitting here for a while, so maybe it's bad. But other than that, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna do that. I might be going to bed soon. Who knows? Who knows? I think on that note too, we do have to do our one last pay our respects, then we'll have to swap out. Unfortunately, we'll have to swap out our